Hello friends, for today's video I'm going to be doing another plan, read, review, and typically the idea is that I will be giving a mini TBR at the beginning of the video and then just kind of primarily show you cute clips of my dog because she makes everybody's day better because she's so cute, and then essentially do a wrap up at the end and discuss my reading. This time around I already read what I was planning to talk about, so I'm pretty much just going to be doing a couple of mini reviews in this. I do want to say a lot of what I've picked up recently would be new fantasy books, and I just did a new fantasy releases wrap up. The books I discussed there would be The Salt Grows Heavy, as well as The Last Heir to Blackwood Library and The Thorns Remain. So if you're interested in hearing about these three books, that's what a lot of my reading has been as of late. So I'll have that video linked. But the ones that I picked up that are not new recently, and also one of them I know a lot of you really like, and I'm so glad I finally picked it up. We have the Flatshare, but then the one I think a lot of you are probably excited about would be Murderbot. So I'm going to still include some clips of Luna really quick. I also went to the downtown library in Phoenix recently to meet up with some friends. Hi, Marcus and Emily. So I'll go ahead and show some of the Phoenix fun, some Luna Bear, and then we'll go ahead and talk about these couple of stories.
Luna, are you a happy girl? Are you just so content? Yeah? Uh-oh. Dad stopped petting you.
Sleepy girl. Oh. Luna! Well, excuse you, Missy. Oh, just yawn. That's my reaction. I'll start with the Flatshare and then I'll end with Murderbot. Both of these, though, were ones that I really enjoyed, and I have you to thank for the Flatshare specifically because I, way back in February, had asked all of you, hey, what are some of your contemporary romance recommendations? I'm pretty in the dark when it comes to what's what, where I should start, what I should pick up. I've read a few, but I could just use some of your suggestions. And one of you, or maybe a few of you, might have suggested the Flatshare. And this was very delightful. It was very cute, but it actually had a surprising amount of depth and humor as well. I don't say surprising in that, like, oh, romance books have depth. I don't mean it like that. I just mean for how light and cute and funny the story was, I was kind of surprised when all of a sudden I was hit with some pretty serious stuff. And I actually thought it was one of the best representations of the subject matter that I've picked up. So I'll start with the setup. The Flatshare follows a young woman who, her and her boyfriend have broken up, and she now needs a place to live. She doesn't really have a lot of money, though, and the best option for her is to do this Flatshare situation where somebody owns a place or they live in a particular area that they always work the night shifts. So if there's anybody that always is working the day shift, then they can share the same apartment, but they pretty much are never going to cross paths. And so basically she can have the apartment from, this one time to this one time, and then the other person has it from the other time. And even though she thinks it's a little odd, her friends think it's a little odd, she's like, well, it's really cheap. I don't really have a lot of other options. And so she moves in, And so you get her perspective, and then you get the other individual's perspective. And there's actually two rather important subject matters touched on. For him, his brother is currently wrongfully imprisoned, and a lot of his time and energy is going into being there for his brother, trying to figure out a way to get an appeal so that his brother can try to get his freedom. And he also has a very stressful job. He's a palliative care nurse. And so you do follow him as he is interacting with patients. And the patients are so sweet. There's a little girl who is recovering from having cancer. You also see a really old man who is just precious. And so I really liked those interactions. But then with our other character, the serious subject matter for her, and that you can kind of see early on, but she's starting to recognize it throughout the book, and I think the author handled it very well, is being in a manipulative relationship. And so much of the way things were worded, the way in which our character was starting to go back through events and realize, wait, no, but that's not okay, and that's not what happened, and they convinced me that this is what happened, and that's not true. And just kind of checking with her friends, and it's like she lost her grasp on reality, and it's just very accurate to what a lot of people experience. And so I was really impressed with how well the author was able to show that. And with the cute side of the story, the cuteness comes by way of she starts to leave notes to her flatmate, you could say, and she'll say like, oh, hey, I happened to stress bake, and so I made a bunch of goodies. If you want to eat some, they're in the fridge. And then, he starts to eat some, and he's like, these are really good. I think I'm going to be depressed in May if you feel like stress baking some more. And they start to leave each other silly little notes, and they really start to get to know each other through these notes, and also existing within the same space, but just at different times. And eventually, you're going in the direction of, are they going to meet? Are they going to become friends? What's it going to be like? Because they seem like polar opposites. He's kind of reserved, and she's just larger than life. And I just thought the whole story was really cute. It was funny. I genuinely feel like the characters were funny. The writing style would change depending on whose perspective you were in. I thought the author handled that really well. It made the characters come to life. So as far as contemporary romances go, this has been one of my favorites that I've picked up. I just think it handled everything great. I had so much fun with it. I devoured it so quickly. I thought it would take me a couple days because I was primarily going to read this one while trying to get some steps in, hit that 10,000 steps a day. I was like, oh, this can be my audiobook, my fun audiobook to entertain me while I'm trying to exercise. But then it started that way, and then I'm like, I have to finish this book. It's just so cute. So I really had a fun time with that, and thank you to the people who recommended it. I now highly recommend it. I thought it was great. Murderbot, I felt so lucky to have two things that I greatly enjoyed that I picked up recently. I loved Murderbot. Obviously, All Systems Red, the first one, is really short, so you really only get introduced to Murderbot and their personality. If I ever say he, it's because I did listen to the audiobook, and the audiobook narrator is a man, but I know that technically there's no gender, but if I ever accidentally say he, that's why. But Murderbot is hilarious, first off, but also so precious at the same time, even though they're kind of made to be a machine that can kill, and kill very efficiently. But just their desire to just be left alone, and the way that they kind of get anxious when people are looking at them, and they just want to watch their reality TV, and that's the thing they care about the most too, it feels like. I just love them. I love Murderbot. I can't wait to read more. I went to the local branch of my library that's down the street to see, and they have other ones later in the series, but they don't have the next one. But I think I'm okay to just maybe pick up the audiobook, because I did look on Hoopla, which actually had the first one, and Hoopla is associated with the library, and you don't have to worry about there being holds. If they have it available, you can just immediately listen. And I checked, and they do have the next one, so I think I might just jump into the next one sometime soon and listen to it, because I just want to follow Murderbot, It's the Murderbot diaries. I want to see what's next. The plot itself, I don't know, and you can all let me know if you feel like this about the rest of the series, or does this change? The plot just felt like it was there to kind of move things along, but really the focus is on Murderbot and their humanity, if you will. So I don't know that if you're a plot-driven reader, if this will really be to your liking, but if you are a character-driven reader, I feel like it's a character-driven reader's dream. It's so fun to follow Murderbot and how kind of quirky they are, and in the best of ways. So I had so much fun. And just the way, because there are human characters that, for the most part, most of it would seem society as a whole just thinks of them as machines. But there are some areas where they see them as people, and these particular humans come from that area. And so on this particular mission, Murderbot is so unaccustomed to people treating them well, and they'll talk to each other and say like, oh, but you have to remember they're just shy. And they're just like, I wish the humans would stop talking about me. And they're just very like, they don't know what to do with people being nice to them. And sometimes they're preferring people just think of them as a machine, because then they don't have to interact with anybody. But I really liked the way that I do think there's a softening to the humans treating Murderbot more like a person with feelings and likes and dislikes, and it was just really sweet. So it's weird to say it's sweet. It just feels like it doesn't fit, but I really had a good time with it, and I can't wait to read more Murderbot. Let me know your thoughts, though, on Murderbot. What's your favorite one in the series? If you've read the Flatshare, feel free to let me know your thoughts on that as well. And based off of my feelings about these, do you have any of your own recommendations? Because I always love seeing your recs. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye.